Watch me while I show you how to do boho tribal braids. But first, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you never miss a video. The type of hair we're using is the Expression pre-stretched hair and the Kima deep ripple hair. I started this video on my second row of braids. Basically, it's not too much to show here. I'm just feeding the hair in, braiding the hair down, and I'm adding the wavy Kima deep ripple hair. I'm adding the wavy hair at the same spot on each braid because I want there to be a clear line of demarcation from where the wavy hair starts. Now I'm braiding the rest of the hair down past the client's hair, and I'm going to tie it off in a knot, and I'm not going to braid down past that knot. You'll see the reason why later on in the video. This is just another clip of me feeding out the wavy hair. And I'm also adding some more expression hair to add to that client's braid so I could tie it off in a knot. Now we're in the top of the client's head. As you can see, she's getting the middle part. What I'm doing differently is I'm actually starting the braids from the middle of the client's head and I'm working my way out. Instead of me starting the tribal braids all the way at the front of the client's hairline and working my way back, I'm starting from the back middle section and I'm working my way out on each side. For me, this keeps continuity between each parting. It keeps the braids lined up perfectly and it makes for an easier install. This is just another angle of me installing another tribal braid. Right now, I'm actually just installing the tribal braids. I'm not installing the wavy hair yet. I'm just putting all the tribal braids in the top of her head first. I'm making sure they're nice and neat. I'm making sure they're nice and consistent and evenly lined up. Then after that, I'll go in and I'll add the wavy hair. It's also important to note that I left the client's hairline out in the very front. So if you notice on the right side of the client's head, it looks like all of her tribal braids are put in, but they're not. I actually left 2 braids out in the front, and there they go right there. I'm actually installing those now. And the reason I left those 2 braids out in the front is because I wanted to wait until I got caught up on the other side, and I want to put those in side by side at the same time. The reason I waited is because I wanted to make sure that they lined up perfectly on both the left and the right side. Due to sometimes the client's hairline being a little bit imperfect or uneven, I just feel like this is an easier way for me to make sure those braids line up perfectly, is just to wait until the very end and install those last braids. Once I finish this last braid in the front, you'll see a couple clips of me braiding the hair down and feeding in the wavy hair. And like I said before, when feeding in the wavy hair, I want to feed them in exactly at the same point in each braid because I want it to be a clear demarcation from where the wavy hair starts, because that's the particular style that this client wanted. Now I'm just cleaning up the braids a little bit as I prepare to dip the ends of the hair in the hot water. I'm being careful not to cut the wavy hair, and I'm just carefully going around it, cleaning up each braid. Now I'm trimming off those straggly ends off of the wavy hair. I'm staggering it while I'm doing it. I'm holding my shears open, and I'm just gradually going up the braid, up and down the braid a little bit, because I want it to be nice and tapered, but I still want to get those straggly ends off, but I don't want it to be a blunt cut across that wavy hair. Now I'm pulling all the wavy hair up and out the way because I'm getting ready to dip those ends of the connector line hair. I'm going to dip it straight first to make it nice and smooth. Then I'm going to braid it up and dip it again. And once I do that, that's going to give it the wavy effect, and it's going to make it blend perfectly with the Hema hair. This is just another clip of me dipping it straight, and afterwards I'm gonna go ahead and braid that up. Once everything is all braided up, I'm gonna dip all of those braided ends, and like I said, it's gonna give it a wavy effect. Now here I am dipping the braided ends. I'm gonna let it cool off first, and then I'm gonna trim those ends with a razor to give it a tapered effect. As you see, that's what I'm doing right now. This razor must have been a little dull because I noticed I had to go over the ends a bunch of times, so I'm gonna have to swap out that razor. But sometimes it's good to use a razor that's a little bit too dull, because I don't like using a sharp razor because sometimes it cuts it off and it still ends up giving it a blunt cut. So now I'm unraveling the connector line hair, and there it is. It looks just like the Hema hair now, so it blends in perfectly with the wavy hair. Now I'm just finger combing the connector line hair along with the wavy hair, and I'm blending it together. I'm gonna go over it with some mousse and a little bit of holding spray and a little bit of oil sheen. So right now I'm just moussing up the wavy hair along with the connector line ends to make the hair blend better together. Now I'm getting some more of those straggly ends off of the hair. Then after that, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of holding spray. That's what I'm doing now. Then after the holding spray, I'm going to use a little bit of oil sheen, and that'll be it. So here's the finished look right here. I hope you enjoyed my video on how to install Boho tribal braids. And if you did, go ahead, like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you never miss another video. Thank you for watching. Follow me on all my socials, Nikki Michelle here.